I have been bleeding my fish ever since I was a kid growing up fishing with my Uncle Brad. They say that bleeding your fish as soon as you catch them will instantaneously drain the blood, not only, but make your fish taste that much better once you get it home after you've processed it and put it on the grill, put it in the oven, on the barbecuer, on the smoker. I've heard so many times how bleeding your fish will drastically improve the quality of the meat as well as the flavor of the meat. Welcome back to Walking on Water Fishing. In this video, we're going to put that to the test. We are out here on one of my favorite Kokanee lakes. It's late summer, and we are targeting Kokanee today. We're gonna catch a couple fish, we're gonna bleed one, and we're not gonna bleed the other one. We're gonna get them home, we are gonna cook them identically, and we are gonna see if I have been wasting my time bleeding my fish for all these years. I honestly, in my opinion, think that bleeding your fish will 100% improve the quality and the taste of the meat itself, but I wanna know if there is an actual noticeable difference when we cook them the exact same way, at the exact same temperature, and at the exact same time. All we gotta do is catch a couple fish, get them home, and taste test them, baby. Stay with us. This is gonna be a fun video. Let's go catch some fish. What the heck? Fish, 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 fish. And it released from the downrigger clip. Oh, this is a nice fish, you guys. This is a freaking extremely nice fish. Release it from the downrigger clip and everything. These are salmon downrigger clips. This is probably my biggest Kokanee ever. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my gosh. All right, so we just caught this Kokanee, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip the gills out right here. This is how you bleed a fish. You can rip or cut the gills on each side. See how there's blood coming down right here? So we're just gonna come over here, right here. We're gonna rip the gills right there. Then we're gonna rip the gills right there. And that fish is gonna start bleeding out, just like so. So now that we have our first Kokanee in the boat, we bled this one. The next one we catch, we are not going to bleed, and we are gonna side-by-side comparison taste test these absolutely amazing and tasty fish. Oh, there's a fish. Same Walking on Water hybrid hoochie, baby. Whoa, it's not a bad fish at all. That is not a bad fish at all to boat flip like that. All right, so here's fish number 2, not even 5 minutes later. And we are not gonna bleed this one, and I'm gonna separate it from the other fish so I know exactly which one it is. And we are gonna do a side-by-side comparison of how these two Kokanee taste. Catch you guys back at home and on the Traeger. We are gonna set our Traeger to 350 degrees. We're gonna go inside, we're gonna prep the salmon so you guys can see that I'm prepping the salmon the exact same way as the bled and the non-bled. Let's set the Traeger to 350. Let's go set these beautiful pieces of fish up. Let's come cook them and taste them. Our first piece is the non-bled fish. We're gonna drop it right here on the left side. Then we're gonna grab our bled piece. I'm using both of the tail pieces to get the most similar results, the closest results we can possibly have for them being two different fish. Gonna grab just a little bit of Montreal steak seasoning. I like this on my salmon, it works well. Nice little tiny coat. I don't wanna do too much because I don't wanna cover up the flavors of these fish. I am gonna put a little mayo on top of each one just to keep that moisture in. That. I'm gonna hit this one as well. Lather these babies up. just like so. It's as easy as that. This is our test, and we are going to see if the non-bled fish tastes better than the bled fish, or if we can tell a difference in the taste at all. Let's go put these things on the Traeger. Throw these bad boys on right there, just like that. And we will let these things cook for probably about 8 to 10 minutes. We'll come back and check flakiness and see if we're done. Make sure that we retain that moisture with the mayonnaise, and then we'll give it a taste. So a little update. Mayonnaise is still holding strong on these pieces of fish. It's gonna be tasty. Which one's gonna taste better? Bled or non-bled? Comment down below. Which one is gonna taste better? For the final shebang. Oh wow, that's hot. Use my shirt here. There we go. There they are. They've landed. Grab us a paper plate. Let's get these off the tray here. This is the bled fish. And this is the unbled fish. Both of them look pretty good. This mayonnaise adhered to the top of it. I didn't have tin foil, so I couldn't wrap it, so there is a good amount of mayonnaise still on top of it. When I move the fish around out there, it does look like it is done, nice and flaky on each fish, which is good. So let's get into the taste test portion to see if bleeding your fish actually matters. The taste test. The non-bled fish right here on my left, your guys is right, as well as the bled fish over here. Okay, we'll do the non-bled fish first. One bite, everybody knows the rules. Was that one? Okay, the non-bled fish is absolutely fire. Now, the bled fish. Let's clear it out. Let's chew this up so it's fair. Okay. That's kind of crazy. So both of these fish were processed exactly the same, except for the bleeding of the fish. The fish on my right, your guys' left, was bled. All the blood removed from this fish before it was processed and put on ice. And then this one was not bled and just put directly onto ice. Now, I did put mayonnaise on these fish, and some people might say that might hinder the testing process, but eating food is subjective, right? So everybody's palates are gonna be a little bit different. I personally cannot tell a difference at all. There is not one difference in between these fish. If anything, I thought the fish on the left tasted better. I don't know if I got a tad bit more seasoning in the bite that I got. I don't know if the mayonnaise soaked into that portion of the fish a little bit better, or what it was, but I felt like the non-bled fish actually tasted better. And now, I'm sure there's a scientific reason behind why you bleed fish, like iron or testosterone or hormones, you know, pumping through the fish after they're dead, so on and so forth. But in this fish, both these fish were caught in the same day, 10 minutes apart, out of the same lake, using the same lure, cooked the same way for the same amount of time. And so, in my opinion, I cannot tell a difference between whether or not the bled fish tastes different than the non-bled fish. So I'm not saying don't bleed your fish by any means. I'm just saying when it comes to meat and meat quality, I am not seeing a difference here at all. Now, I'm no expert, but I have caught and eaten a lot of fish, and in my opinion, I cannot tell a difference. And so, excuse me. And so I'm gonna keep bleeding my fish just for the sake of bleeding the fish, putting them on ice. But I honestly think the non-bled fish tastes better. I'm gonna have to do it with salmon, and I'm gonna have to let them sit in the boat all day. It'll be interesting to see if you let a bled fish sit in the boat all day long, as well as a non-bled fish in the boat all day long, if that's where the difference comes into play. But these did sit in the boat each for 4 hours, not even on ice directly, and I brought them home, froze them, defrosted them this morning, and now we're eating them right now, and they taste absolutely incredible. I cannot taste a single difference in the fish. So if you bleed your fish or don't bleed your fish, that is up to you. Thank you guys so much for being a part of Walking on Water. I cannot actually tell a difference in any of these fish. It's crazy. This was if you can bleed a fish, baby, and does it actually make the fish taste different? Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I will catch you in the next one.